across the Hudson from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. This the scene just before we came on air. This New York crowd fired up by the arrival of their G-men as they burst from the locker room. They're ready to go as the Giants get set to match up with the Washington football team. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. The first carry for the Memphis man, Antonio Gibson. And somehow he's going to get a yard out of this as he fought through that first contact. It's 2nd down. Well, this defense for the Giants, they have certainly had their struggles to start the season, but they put it all together in getting that first victory a week ago.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
2nd and 9 now. Got a man, it's De'Ami Brown, complete. Touchdown, Washington! Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
And that should serve as a big warning to this defense. They know now that they have to stick close to these receivers because they have the ability to break games wide open after the catch, and that one wound up in the end zone.
Point after try forthcoming. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead.
Washington 7, Giants nothing.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Hey, check 24, check 24.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Get in the weight room. Hey, check fire.
Throwing Jones. And the pass is intercepted. He was looking for Ingram. Picked off by Jamin Davis. And he will bring this one back. It is a pick 6 for a Washington touchdown.
They don't get nothing.
Now this defense looking like they have come to play the pick 6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now 14-0.
Giants nothing.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
All comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
5-2 is the Mike. Mike's 5-2. Mike 5-2.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4. Down.
A gain of 3. It's 4th down.
On the set. 19, Mike 19. Quit talking about it. 19.
Take 4. Take 4.
They'll run for it with Barkley. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And that will force a turnover on downs. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
I can't believe they even let you play.
Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4.
Watch the pick.
And shedding through the tackle. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I'm going to hit you all.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
On 2nd down, a run with Gibson. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Come to my work.
Right there. 54. Right there. Right there.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Completes a Mooney on the slant. Touchdown! Darnell Mooney. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And Washington able to stretch that lead out even further. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And it's now 21-0.
Giants nothing.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the 1st as they kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a first-and-goal situation. Barkley. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Barkley again. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
From the 4 now, 3rd and goal. And he is in. Touchdown, Giants. Saquon Barkley with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Giants are able to cut into this lead. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Taken in at the 3. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
We play to win.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
All right, Brandon, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. So, Charles, you talk about this head coach, and let's face it, this season certainly has not gone the way many had expected or at least hoped. And I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier this week.
Yeah, we certainly did, didn't we? Because, let's face it, he's heard the whispers, and they're going louder that he shouldn't be around next year. He essentially stormed out of that meeting you just referenced with the reporters. How did he end it? We're done here. Well, that's a function of losing and all the pressure that's on him. You hear about pressure creating diamonds? In this case, it's bursting the pipes of the coach.
On 1st and 10, it's Gibson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They'll look to throw. Taking a shot for Samuel. And that is incomplete. So, Charles, you talk about this head coach and his future with this franchise. Look, it's been a frustrating year, and I think we saw some of that frustration boil over at his weekly press conference earlier in the week.
Yeah, he's trying to say all the right things, isn't he? But he's heard the rumors. He knows what's going on out there. And right now, he is tired of having to answer the question, are you on the hot seat in every meeting with reporters? This week, he kind of said, I've had enough, and I don't blame him. He looks like a guy that may very well be out the door.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 30.
Well, they'll use him a lot out of the backfield. He had 5 catches a week ago, and he makes another catch here for good yardage.
49's the mic. Watch 49. Get ready.
They'll run on first down. It's Gibson, and he'll get this one down to about the 27. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
49's the mic.
Here's 2nd and 8. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down.
Bring it. Bring it. Right there. 54. Right there. 54 Mike.
Back to throw here. And this almost intercepted. Not sure he saw the free safety that time. But lucky, incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Now on comes the Washington field goal unit. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And that hits the right upright and caroms away. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound Brandon no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Wide, get wide.
Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Jones fakes the give to Barkley. And this one is incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
That's pulled in at the 32. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
On 1st down, Gibson. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Big Leonard Williams there on the stop. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
49's the mic. Watch 49. Push him back. Push him back.
They run the toss now with Gibson. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they?
And this is taken in for a Washington touchdown. Well, we saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's third down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham. You have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
The kick is good. Makes this one.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before and realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well.
else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Jones throw here pulled in by Galladay. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
Now Jones. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Throwing again on second down. Jones finds his tight end Ingram.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. 552. Here we go, D. Here I come. Here I come.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 49 yards on the ground for him so far.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Back to throw. Jones. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty is a result of that hit there.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
And Barkley will try to punch it in. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Watch tight. Tight end's right. Watch tight. Tight end's right. Hey, boys, we got 4.
This is Beasley, the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
And Gano's kick is right through. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. On second down now, it's Gibson. You know, if following up on this head coach and the pressure that he is under, CD, I want to switch it to you because you've been on winning teams, but I know you've been in similar situations too where things just are not going well. How do you approach that as a player?
It's a tough approach, Brandon, because you actually have to do the opposite of what you would think. You know, in your mind, you're thinking, I redouble my efforts, I go harder. In a sense, you have to back off a little bit. You have to do a little bit less. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't take on the pressures of doing more and trying to do your teammates' jobs as well. If you do that, that's really going to lead you to more issues.
An update from a game going on in Indianapolis. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
In your face. Mike's 54.
They're going to run this with a tight end. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Here's 2nd and 10. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10.
You better bring it. I'm letting you know right now, you better bring it.
Shotgun handoff to Gibson. And to the 49-yard line, but no further. And obviously he is well short of the first. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting group from Washington who are out on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Giants set to get the football, and they trail here as we get back underway in the second half. This one fielded at the 5. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
They run with Barkley on first down, and he gets about 5 out of it.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5 now. Jones to Barkley on the check down. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And just like that, it's 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Jones. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
And a solid run down inside the 30. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Once more, Gibson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10. Down at the 31. Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block, it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty. But it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
Here we go. Mike.
On first down, they go option to the right. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
Now on 2nd and 16. Jones completes it to Evan Ingram. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Evan Ingram, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Giants are able to draw a bit closer. This time, the extra point up and good. And they're able to cut this deficit down to 12. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
4 yards remain for 2nd down.
Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day.
Gibson here running out of the gun. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Fresno.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And some room to roam now. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
Absolutely no disguise on that one. They just went for it. Put him out there and said, go deep. Let's try and hit him. Unfortunately, to no avail.
On 2nd down, it's Gibson. Gibson gets hit and he fumbles it. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
52's the mic. Get the ball.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They're not ready for this. They still playing.
Running again with Barkley on 2nd down. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
Let's get it.
From the gun, Jones. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. That's Deron Payne with a sack that time. Well, remember, he had the interception earlier. Now he adds the sack. He's really making his presence felt out there.
Oh, he is putting together a heck of a game. In fact, he's going to bump these plays to his highlight reel. Okay, so when he wants to show it off later on, look what I did out there, guys. And this offense, they've got to start paying him a little special attention. He's like a good basketball player, putting stats in every column.
Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the 2nd miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Gibson again. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort. for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
49's the mic. Watch 49. Hey, here we go. Hurt. 60 Maverick.
On third down, he'll drop to throw.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
They don't know it, boys. They don't know it. They don't know it.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive, missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
Second down, here's Barkley again. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Giants on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Jones. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And Ingram holds it in. And he's got this down to the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A give to Barkley out of the gun. He gets away from 1. Oh, good move. 73 yards rushing for him now to this point.
That was a good, forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
From the 29, Jones. Open man right side is Ingram. And they move this all the way down to the 9.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for 2nd down. Another try for Barkley, and they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Ready up. 52. Mike 52. Rip right. 60 Eagles.
Operating from the gun, Jones. Flushed out right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Chase Young, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say, when you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes.
And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll set up a throw. throw right side, taken in by Gibson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on, because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 37. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. Oh, he stays up. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that will make this now a 15-point advantage. So that, not just important in the fact that it widens their lead, but really that was a textbook job of just hanging on to the football.
And we know all the time that coaches talk about time of possession. Sometimes it's a stat that doesn't matter much, but in this drive, it matters a lot. They want to reduce time and score points and lock this game down.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Here's Jones.
But one of the ways...
And the Washington pressure gets to him. He will go down. Chase Young make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Army. Whip. Watch the whip.
Jones. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Jones. He wants it all for the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. To throw is Jones. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
19 line. Check 99. Check it. Go.
Now Jones. Wide open receiver complete. And the Giants are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. Throwing Jones. That's complete left side to Shepard. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. And now here comes their final timeout as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, this defense has been physical all game long, and it certainly looks like they're not going to back off and make things any easier. They want to keep making life miserable for the receivers all the way to the end.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked by Kendall Fuller, and that will write a finish to this ball game.